review and approve minutes of the November 12th workshop meeting.
Go ahead. Make a motion that we accept the minutes for the workshop and the meeting for November 12th.
We have a motion second. Any further discussion? All in favor? All opposed? 4-0. Number 2, approve treasurer's warrants, number 118 through 122.
Make a motion to approve the treasurer's warrant 118 through 122.
We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion?
Yes, I just wanted to report that warrant 118 is a payroll warrant for a total of $30,272.22. Warrant 119 was an AP warrant for $6,969.89. Warrant 120 is a payroll warrant, and that amount was $11,380.76. And warrant 121 is an AP warrant for $4,508.41, and that was a sewer AP. And then warrant 122 is a town accounts payable warrant in the amount of $69,194.41. And after you sign the warrants tonight, I'll post them on the website.
Anything else? All in favor? Opposed? 4-0. Number 3, discuss emergency shelter plan for EMA 274.
All right, I have some prices, right?
Presents?
Prices.
Oh, prices. I remember shopping there for Christmas.
I want presents.
It's too early. Hey, we need to stop the turkeys. I feel like I'm teaching again. Handing out papers.
Thanks.
Anybody else? I gotta have one.
Oh, I'll take one.
Can I get one of the chief? Can I get two?
Thanks, sir.
No, one the other man?
Oh, my fault.
How many pages is this?
What's that, the document?
Yeah.
The active document,
It's like 8?
12?
Oh,
Well,
that's why. Well, I'm gonna say, because I'm not gonna, there's like, here. There's a lot of pages that, the whole thing is.
Dad's got part of them.
Yeah.
I got a puzzle.
I can't comprehend it unless I read the whole thing. Yeah. It's gonna be exactly that. Yeah, I don't think this is, that's it. I want to take pictures of this. And then Mark. Mark. I don't think you wanted to get that out.
I don't know who this is.
Well, that's- you just
You
gave
just
it
handed
to
it
us.
to me.
I don't think we need that assessment.
No wonder I thought it had more,
Okay.
but I still don't know who it is.
I don't, it's not my child.
Is it one of ours?
It's not Carrie's, I don't
No.
think.
That's
No.
funny.
Okay.
So is the shelter expense 2619.98 or is the 2500?
25.
So that 26, whatever it was, is all of the numbers added up. But realistically, I'm not gonna charge you for both oil and pellets. So realistically, I took the oil price because it's more. I mean, if you're asking me to commit, I'm gonna make sure that there's enough money there to pay if there's oil. And that's based upon current projected prices.
And that's,
So then if you look at electricity versus the propane generator having to run, I'm gonna choose the propane generator, and that was almost $1,700 a day. So my number, the written number, 2,500, reflects using oil
oil.
and the generator, as well as the other prices for cost for if I have to have a food service person in there and a janitor. And that's on an 8-hour shift. So that adds up to roughly $2,250. And because honestly, I can't lock us in at what the current market says prices will be this winter. So I added another $350 to this to come up with $2,500
That's per day.
per day.
Am I allowed to ask questions? So, that flat rate that you're giving is regardless of what's going on. That's what it'll cost if we open.
Yep.
Whereas what you offered them the last time you were here was if the generator was running, you would charge them accordingly. If the oil is running or the pellet stove, you would charge them accordingly, which would probably, more than likely, be less money than this amount. Is that not true?
And I would even go further, I wouldn't do it for a day. What I would sit down with Nancy, right, Carol with names, and Chris, and actually come up with how much we actually used in propane, because it's very easy to tell how much heating oil we would use, and give you a solid figure.
But this gives us a number.
It gives you a worst case scenario.
Correct.
Yep.
Correct.
For budgeting purposes,
Yeah.
yeah.
I mean, we don't intend or desire to make money. And the taxpayer in me doesn't want any more than that.
Exactly.
So,
But now we got numbers, and now we need to sit down and see if we can come up.
yeah, we're getting into the season where things are gonna happen.
So the way I understand it, this is just for budget purposes, but should we need the shelter, it would be based on actual cost.
That would depend, because I really did not leave here last time with that impression. It was more, how much is it gonna cost me per day? So, my recommendation,
I wanted a comparison.
my recommendation is, let's work through this if we have to use the built-in, so that we have people.
Because we might not have to use like the kitchen help.
Correct.
We might have to
Or the
limit-
generator may not be running. It's
Correct.
very rare that that town is
There's a lot of
running.
variables,
Right,
so.
so,
And you may not be there
Right.
24 hours.
correct,
Yeah.
right. So, but we have numbers now then.
Yep.
This is where it would have been. Now we gotta make it feasible. Because we do know that we don't have to take on another policy on the insurance.
That's correct, and there's no
Yeah.
cost,
the
additional
town.
cost to the towns.
So-
We just need
Put
to,
it through the carry. or
yes,
additional
to add
cost.
you as an additional insurer.
Right,
Mhm.
Yep.
we did find that. Yeah. So now we sit down and, now that we know what the prices could be versus, you know, like if we don't use a generator, or if we just use a direct generator, then it would be this, at this price, versus,
Up to that.
correct, or it could be the fuel, the furnace running on oil, or the pellets.
So what's the next step, in your opinion? Change this, take draft off and then submit it for signatures?
Of this, right?
Yeah,
This.
of the disaster.
But we
shelter
need
plan.
to know the costs, if we're going
You need that number, you really need that number to
in
budget.
here.
Yes,
No, I don't think so. I don't think you need that number.
No.
I think when you go to put your budget together for next year,
We need this.
I would figure out, guesstimate, because, I mean, there's a crapshoot, right? You don't know what's gonna happen, how long,
Might not even have to use it.
you might not have to use it, so. You know, the ice storm, how long,
Right, you know,
I mean-
depends on how long it takes to clear it up.
right, I mean, that was one of the worst ones in my 65 years.
And I can't remember how long, we were there a week maybe?
A week, it was about a week, I think.
So,
Yeah.
I mean, so you're talking
Both things were-
just under 20 grand.
Yeah.
But again, I work with Chris, Rue, and that young lady right there, and we charge the town fairly and appropriately. But
Right?
we would just need to execute it, we need to.
Right.
Yeah. Take the draft off and then submit it for signatures if we want to, move forward with it. And I don't think anyone really had any questions
No.
with the language in the plan itself. It was just, I think our concern was with the fees. And if you wanted to pay those fees, I think I would suggest one of two things. We could have a warrant on the article to create a non-lapsing reserve fund where we put money into it and only take out or replenish if we need it. Or alternatively, we could take from undesignated fund balance a specific amount annually, so that it's not coming from taxation, to put it in the budget. If we don't use it that year, it lapses, and then we pull it back out for the next budget year and do it that way. That's probably the most simplistic of the two options. Or thirdly, if the school says, well, we pay our bills from the school assessments, so because the money comes from the town of Anson, we'll work out something to let you use the building.
yeah, I wasn't quite following that. I think
That was a good slide through.
I would
Did you
keep,
catch that?
I would keep the two things completely clear of each other.
Okay.
Yeah, because there's so much paperwork with the school referendum and all of that, that
Yes.
I wouldn't tie these together at all. So, but if this board approves it tonight, then I will take it to my board on December 3rd.
That's your next meeting is December 3rd?
Yep.
Okay. That's our next meeting.
Yes.
Mhm.
I thought you met on Tuesday nights.
Oh, we have that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yes, schedule
Okay.
conflict.
It's okay.
It's like the last time I was like, oh, wait a minute, they're meeting on Wednesday, I have my board subcommittee meetings, I can't go.
It's just me making trouble with you.
So, what do you think?
I think we should go with it. We really, we need to have a plan
Something
in
in
place. And this is the best available option, and it's community helping community. And he's come up with his rates, and, I think we can put something in the budget, like I said.
Yeah.
I think if we just take it from surplus, and fund it that way, and if we don't use it, great, if we need it, we've got it. I don't think that is one of those things where, you can go like over budget, like you can with roads and GA.
Right.
So, we'll have to fund it appropriately. And I guess you can always decide on how you want to fund it. Whether you want to have a non-lapsing fund, or not, and how to gather those monies.
So, we have a
My
motion,
recommendation.
more discussion.
So like, when we had the flood,
Yes,
the fire departments were utilized.
yes, because we
So-
didn't have a contract with
They
them.
wouldn't be, what happens if you can't get the lower village, you can't get to the high school?
Then we pulled her and we opened up the fire station.
We tried to figure it right. I mean, the last time we was able to use the railroad bed to get people up through there and transport back and forth
Right.
there for a while.
But it wasn't open up at first.
Yeah. Then I think Ken ended up getting permission from the state to use the railroad bed, I believe.
So we can,
Well,
at least
you know
you can get
that.
a fire truck through it, right?
Yeah, the biggest thing is open the gates.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have big tools.
You got keys too, but.
Yeah, we have big tools.
I think the forestry fit down through it finally, they were open, right?
They weren't open, but they got around it. There's only one up there. I don't know if they put more or not. I don't go looking at it, but emergency situation, we can use it.
Because the road even, well, actually, no, the road was flooded beyond the railroad crossing up.
Yeah, it's down below.
Yeah. So, yeah, there is a way.
If they fix that one at the real mill, you'd be able to use a horseback road.
Yeah.
Because they did go through, right?
Oh, they can't because it was flooded right at Cousineau's.
Just after
yeah.
There
Christmas
was
that day.
5 feet of water there, but and if they ever fix that pipe, it won't do that.
Keywords if.
Yeah. Yeah. I can't. I'm stepping back because
I make a motion, we accept the CCS shelter expense. Thank you. From the town.
And adopt the plan.
Absolutely.
I'll second it. We have a motion and a second. Any other discussion? All in favor? All opposed? 4-0.
Thank you. I will
Thanks,
take it
Mark.
before my board Wednesday.
Thank
Don't
you.
forget your photo. Geez, I'm trying.
That's your wife right there, man.
Call me.
Mark,
Thank you.
Mark.
I got a movie to watch.
Can you email me?
Yes, and I will also staple to it the 2 pages from the support staff contract.
Okay.
Yep.
Perfect.
Yep.
And then, and if you want to sign it, then I can have this board also sign it. I'll get the insurance, add that to it, and then. get
Tammy
that
will be
back.
happy.
yes, you do.
Okay,
All right,
now I'm
thank
done
you
here.
so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Number 5, open proposals for town-wide reevaluation.
Number 4.
Sorry. Good, number 4, I already marked it off before. Review and approve the interlocal agreement for youth recreation sports between towns of Anson, Emden, and Sullivan.
Yes, so after we had appointed Melody Rich as our youth sports rec director, it became apparent that we had a rec director that we were sharing with 2 other communities, and there was no agreement in place. So the 3 towns got together and worked out an interlocal agreement that basically is between Anson, Emden, and Solon, where we agreed to appoint a youth sports rec director and a bookkeeper. That in December of each year, a committee made up of 1 town official from each town shall choose the rec director and the bookkeeper for the following year. For the first year, because Solon has been the host community, and they were the first one to hire Melody. Solon staff has maintained the financials for the program. So the way that we're looking to manage it moving forward is for the calendar year 2026, the rec director and the bookkeeper shall be an employee of the town of Solon and shall perform all duties and responsibilities imposed by Cobra Recreation. Solon will serve as the lead town and will manage the finances through a shared recreation account. We are looking to fund the program as follows. Each town will contribute a per child fee for the sports that are offered. That would be soccer, basketball, baseball, softball, t-ball, and I think to some degree the Cal Ripken, which they've done. And we've done that through them last year as well, as Angela had indicated to me. We would pay a stipend for Melody and the bookkeeper, $2,000 a year. $1,500 of that would go to Melody and $500 would go to the employee for doing the books on her own time outside of her hours and so on. And then for the equipment and the uniforms and, upkeep of the program, each town will pay a participant fee of $55 per child. And that's what it averaged out to last year. So we just kind of went with that. And then any league-specific fees, like if anyone from Anson wanted to participate in the Cal Ripken, that would be billed separately at cost.
That's the truck racket.
So I would like to put in the budget about $5,500 for participant fees and $2,000 to pay the director. We decided to do it on our annual basis, and we will revisit to see how well it's been working towards the end of the year. If any town wants to pull out, we need to notify the other town by giving written notice by November 1st. So that way, the other member towns can figure out, how to move the program forward. I did reach out to Melody to ask for an update. I haven't really heard from her on how the program has been going so far. She did say that the soccer season is over. There were 2 teams for grades 2 and 3, 2 teams for grades 4 through 6, and 3 separate clinics, one for kindergarten, preschool, and first grade. So that went very well. And then she also reported to me that they're now doing basketball signups, and currently they have a boys grade 3 through 14, a girls grade 3 through 14, a boys grade 5 through 16, and a girls grade 5 through 16. They've started their practices. They've been going on for 1 to 2 weeks now, depending on the teams, and games will start the first weekend in January. And then she did say that the boys, grades 3 and 4, are going to use the Garrett Skating School. Both of grades 5 through 16 will use the CCS school, and the grades 3 through 4 girls team will use the Solon gym. So they are trying to diversify for convenience for the families. that are participating. And then we did have a clause in that interlocal agreement that if any other, probably easier for me to read it than to like paraphrase, but if children from any other towns other than the 3 that are listed in this agreement, so if children from any other towns want to participate in Cobra Recreation, the fee shall be $55 per participant. The fee will be collected from the supporting town or from the participant's family or through a donation. If in that Cobra Recreation agrees to assess an administration fee to help with Melody's pay and the bookkeeper's pay to any non-member town that exceeds 4 participants. So once you have more than 4 children playing, we want you to chip in to help pay to support the administration piece of it. And that would be a $500 administrative fee for 5 to 15 participating children and $1,000 for 16 to 25 participating children. So that's what we've come up with. There is an indemnification section. The term is for 1 year. There is a default section in here. And at this point, Solon has brought this interlocal agreement before their board. They've signed it. If you agree to it tonight, I'll have you sign the last page of the agreement, and then we'll forward it on to Emden for signatures. I think we've come up with a pretty good program. I think that it isn't going to cost the town any more to do it this way. And I like that we'd be paying for the number of students from Anson and not, an average.
Right.
I did like that piece of it. It just helps to keep it fair and we're not paying to maintain their fields, and they're not paying to maintain our fields, that sort of thing. It's just participation fee. That covers the equipment and their uniforms and coaches and.
Into effect, right?
This would go into effect January 1.
I make a motion to approve the interlocal agreement for the youth recreation sports program for Anson, Hampton, Pennsylvania.
Second.
So we have a motion and a second. Any other discussion? All in favor? All opposed? So moved, 4-0.
Thank you.
In better, we have number 5. Open proposal for townwide reevaluation.
So we received 2 proposals. One came from RJD appraisal, and the other one came from Maine Assessment and Appraisal Services, Inc. They are out of Dixmont. So this one. if I'm reading this right, it looks like the revaluation of real and personal property, their bid is $305,250.
And that's gonna be over how many years?
That is a good question. I would have to look through this. It is. Yes, okay, so,
Page 3. That's the one.
yeah. So contract payment schedule with a May 1st, 26 start date as follows. Within 10 days of signing the contract, they want $30,525. And then we would pay 26, 27, wrapping up in 28. So I guess they want to take 2.5 years to do the revow. So I am assuming that the final payment is June 1st, 2028, and the balance will be due 14 days from the 28 commitment. So the new assessed values wouldn't go into effect until the 2028 commitment. And so that was for the reval. And then I also asked for them to provide a price for digitizing our tax maps. And they quoted $4,500 to $5,000, so I'm just gonna put $5,000 to do that. And I did speak with the gentleman on this. He did say that with the mapping services that they're offering, actually it's, he would hire that out to Cindy Pellet at Logic Mapping. They overlay Google Earth, so if you're out doing the assessing and whatnot, and you have the digital map, Google Earth will overlay that, so you'll know exactly where you are and what property you're at. Sounded very interesting on the mapping services. And then, we had asked for them to provide a price for being our assessor's agent. And that I'm not seeing spelled out too clearly, so I guess I'll have to do a deeper dive. But we can, certainly read this over and take a look at the details.
Is this the same company that just did stocks, Nancy?
I do not know who did Starks. They're out of Dixmont, and I'm sure he provided,
28 municipalities.
yeah, I was just gonna say,
Fences.
yeah, so they, revaluations completed, Hartsville, Appleton, Swanville, West Forks Plantation, Stockton Springs, Cushing, Howland, Etna, Carrollton, Easton, Plymouth, Swanville, Bower Bank, Orrington, St. Francis, Glenburn. I think Glenburn may have been their most recent one. Liberty, Monhegan Plantation, Machias Port, Fort Fairfield, that's quite a bit away, Clinton, Benton, Thorndike, Woodland, Wade, Detroit, Palmyra. There's a lot. They're currently working on town of Milo, town of Appleton. Both of those are gonna be, Milo is finishing in July of next year, Appleton in September of next year. Addington, they should be finished by October of next year, Etna by September of next year, and Hurricane in July. So they've got quite a few revals ongoing currently. It's like 6 of them. current assessing agent. Okay. And RJD's proposal to do the revale is $236,500.
But it says no personal property included in the proposal.
Personal included. Okay. So, interesting, okay. And then if we provide a price for digitizing the tax maps, this personnel, I don't know if you see it. You may have to reach out and ask about that. I did ask that they separate that out. And that's their client list. Boy, they have a lot of towns too. Anyway.
Yep.
So, shall note on full-size set of tax maps provided by the town, okay.
Just that? No, that wouldn't be it, because that's
Oh,
the
that,
work
no.
tree.
Right, yeah, the research.
Oh, right there. Did you get those?
No, that's,
That's not mapping, that's just.
no, that would be for, electronic property record cards with digital photos, and that would give us the ability to, email them from our computers instead of having to go to the, card file to pull them out specifically.
Just that one, the digitals.
Yeah.
I don't think, I don't see it.
Shall complete, so they will complete all work excluding the public hearings by July 1st of '29.
It's a 3-year.
So, 2029. Will be covered by the annual assessment contract. What is this right here? This page, did you get this one?
Where's that number?
4.
It's just digital photos.
I don't see anything that indicates that they may not have the capability to digitize the tax maps. I'll ask them. So basically, looks like their payment schedule would be 5 equal installments. They would, so they want a fifth when we sign the contract, and another fifth when they're 40% complete with doing the work, another fifth when they're 60% complete with the work, another fifth payment when they're 80%, and then the final 1/5 due upon completion of the hearings. The good thing in this this is that we can spread out the budgeting for it so that we don't take such a massive hit in any one year. So I would say, let's take these home and read them over, and then maybe we can schedule a workshop and go over it and ask a bunch of questions and see what you want to do from there.
That's a good idea.
There's too much to absorb tonight.
You said?
A lot of information.
Yep.
I think we're ready to move on.
Number 6, set the date for the annual town meeting and election.
So Kim and I and Maddie were all talking about town meeting, and typically we hold town meeting the first Saturday of March and do voting in the morning with town meeting in the afternoon. Because it's, you know, it's a Saturday, and oftentimes people may come out for voting, but, you know, we tend to not get as great of a turnout for the town meeting portion. We're proposing that we split town meeting and election as follows. We would like to move it to town meeting to the following Monday, March 9th at 6 o'clock up to Carabec High School, where we would go through the warrant articles and vote on the monies, and then on the following Tuesday, March 10th, hold the local election and do it here, where we would set the polls up here at the town office and be open from 8 to 6 that day. So we would be doubling the voting, because typically we're, I think, 8 to 1:30. So we're 5.5 hours of voting. This way, you know, if it's not busy, we can be working and doing other things while voting is commencing. And any new elected officials would then be sworn in, and they wouldn't have to deal with, you know, with town meeting, because town meeting would have taken place the preceding Monday night. We did reach out to the high school to see if the school was even available that evening, and it is. So I think it might be a benefit to the community. Maybe we'd even get a larger turnout at town meeting if we held it on a weeknight instead of on a Saturday afternoon.
And when would the voting take place again?
It would be on Tuesday, March 10th, from 8
Till what?
8 to 6 is what we're proposing. But we would need you to vote on that to establish that date, and then we can move forward. If you know, if you're interested in changing that, then we could move forward with securing a moderator, the school.
The voting is March 6th, and the warrants
Vote,
is March 9th.
town meeting is March 9th, and voting is March 10th, proposed.
To 6. So we're not having a meeting that night? That's the second Tuesday.
We'd have to move that meeting, yeah. Probably move it to the following Tuesday, for this purpose. I think, Kim's thought was to try to keep it as close to the Saturday date in March.
First week.
Yeah, yeah. the 9th is the next business day from that Saturday, which wouldn't really interfere with nomination papers being available. Any thoughts from you guys? Do you like that? Do you think that would be a benefit to the community?
Drawing more people instead of Saturday.
Yeah. And it's extending the voting time. And plus, if we did voting on a work day, we wouldn't be paying as much overtime for, town clerk who has to be there. And that's okay, because she'd be regularly scheduled to work from 8 to 4 that day anyway. So, yeah, there'd be a little bit of overtime, but.
What do you guys think?
Yeah.
That was a great
A
idea.
lot of older people are not gonna wanna come out and vote at 6 o'clock at night.
They're not.
They like the afternoon,
Yeah.
Saturday.
Just that one?
I just wonder if it was, it would confuse the older people where they've been doing it for so many years,
We tried switching it in Farmington before and it made no difference really.
Oh, it didn't?
No,
No.
no, we did it for like 2 years where we changed the time frame and we ended up going back to our original time.
I mean, in March, trying to get people to come out and vote, come out to the town meeting at 6 o'clock, you see what you get here.
Right.
I mean, that's, it's not gonna be warm.
We just thought, like with that special town meeting, we had a packed house for that day. So I just thought an evening might, work better.
There was probably a reason for that.
Yeah. Well, I know it was a very
They had a reason.
passionate subject,
They
yes.
had a reason.
But there may be reasons on the town meeting warrant that will bring people out too, so.
Maybe.
You don't know.
Put it on as an article and let people vote
For next
For
year.
the following year.
and see what their opinions are.
That's a
Put it
thought.
as an article. And if somebody says,
We want to keep it the way it is.
Or change it.
Right.
then the people,
Then you
we're not
have-
deciding.
The majority of the people that showed up.
Right.
Right. You
A
never
general
know.
consensus of,
Be the 40 people that usually show up.
So maybe we should go back to March 7th, right? Isn't that the first?
It is.
Yes, that's the first Saturday of March, and that would typically be the date that we would hold it.
And also June was warm.
Yes. Well,
And
it could be warm in March, we never know.
Not like the sun goes
Not
down.
like
I can only hope, but
I know during COVID, I had an annual town meeting in April, and we got sunburn out there. Oh my God, we had it in the afternoon, and I think it was like a 70-some odd degree day that day. It was just unbelievably warm. But, whatever day you want to do it, I need you to vote on it and set that date tonight so we can get the nomination papers going.
Vote on Friday and have town meeting Saturday morning instead of an afternoon. You vote Friday,
Vote Friday and then,
8 to 6 or whatever you want to have it, 10 to 7 if you want it, whatever. And then town meeting Saturday morning.
that's a thought too. I do know that in some communities, when you try to vote and hold a town meeting, if you have a large turnout for voting, sometimes your ballot clerks are still counting and don't participate in town meeting discussion. And I know that some people, some ballot clerks feel that their rights are infringed upon, when, nothing to say we couldn't spread that out too, to give, more of a break in between to allow for the counting of ballots.
Well, we've done that. We've done that anyways, from the time we start voting until.
Yeah, currently, if you close voting at 1:30, yeah, then you have an hour to count before town meeting starts.
Or you could have voting after. Put the names in for town meeting.
doing the ballots, and it wasn't a problem.
We have a town meeting on Saturday morning, and then Monday, have they vote
Have you vote?
to come in.
That's another thought.
So personally, I don't care, but I think we ought to leave it up to the town.
To change, to make change, I agree.
So this year, do it on March 7th.
So do it just what we've been doing this year and then put it out there as a vote to the town for the following year. And then we can just see how it works.
Right.
And put it out there, say, "Hey, we want to try it this way."
If it doesn't work, you can always go back. If you like it better, then,
Correct.
right, yeah.
I think so. Personally.
No.
12 votes.
It's been a few years, you probably don't know.
We don't- So do we put that to a vote? Are we ready?
Keep it the same.
Do we hear a motion?
I make a motion that we keep it the same.
Second,
No, you make a motion to set the date
As
or March
Okay,
7th.
for March.
March 7th,
for March
for the town meeting and the election.
Right.
I'll second it.
Okay, so we have a motion and a second. Any other discussion?
I just seconded it.
All in favor? All opposed? So moved.
But also, we should recommend that we put it on the warrant,
Right.
whether or not they want to change it.
Will that go?
That would be an article.
That'll be
That
when
would be an article.
you work on the,
Right. And we would want to work on proposed dates.
Correct.
And really more or less, like, vote on a Saturday or vote on a Monday, you know, whatever day of the week, if for a warrant article.
Okay? Number 7, approve and sign notice of damage to town roads.
At the last meeting, the road commissioner had circulated this notice for you guys to look at, and had asked that we type something up. So I've done that, and if you guys approve, I'll have you sign it tonight, and then we can make copies for Artie to keep, and then he could sign it. Basically, it's for damage to town roads, from a wood cutter, hauler, skidder, basically indicating that no wood can be twitched on town roads, because, especially on dirt road, because it can damage our road. So if they do that, then they would be responsible for repair costs. And that's what the proposed.
Did we get one of them?
Did I not, I may not have printed it, I think I emailed it to you guys. So basically, it says notice, effective November 26, 2025, the road commissioner and the board of selectmen have announced that no wood may be twitched on the roads of the anson. Should this occur, the landowner or responsible individual will be liable for any costs associated with the materials and equipment needed for road repairs due to the damage caused. And my apologies, I know he had circulated that the last meeting, so I didn't move extra copies. But feel free to pass that on and read it. Let me know what you think. There's a spot for Artie to sign as the road commissioner, and there's a spot for the landowner or the woodcutter or logger to sign.
Pass
did not run that by me, but I think we have every right to ask for, reimbursement for any damages.
I enforce something like this.
I think, once they sign it, we would do the repair work, we'd send them an invoice and put it in accounts receivable and track it and hope that they make good on, on their damage.
If they don't.
And then if they don't, we,
Town lawyer.
I'd like to see it go in there. Better wording, personally. I just don't see how we can, I'm not even sure we can make this rule, can we? I don't know what.
I don't see why not. If someone is damaging a town road, we do that now with businesses. If there's damage, we send them an invoice and they pay it.
Gotta do something, because I've been here 13 years, and this year we've had 3 people doing it. And I stopped and spoke to them, and they look at you and grin. So
Like, didn't CMP, when they were doing the roads?
they reimbursed us.
Yeah, she said businesses too. They don't use it individually.
Business.
It is kind of a business.
But they will fulfill the cost, that was in their contract. So, I'd like to see it go past, and then
The yarding wood out or the trucks are staying up?
No, it's a tractor, 4-wheel-drive tractor, twitching the wood down the road. 2 of them actually, and then a couple other times it was a skidder. So,
I can't imagine.
if they say, no, we don't wanna do it, then fine, we won't take and do it, but you want me to start protecting the town land and whatnot, then we gotta have something. Because when they look at you and grin, you go back out there the next day and they're doing it all over again.
Can you call law enforcement?
Yeah. You gotta have something from the town first, so they have something to go with.
Right.
Because the town's responsible for 33 from the 33 feet center of the road, right?
24 foot 9 inches.
Yeah,
The state's 33 feet.
that's right, yeah.
So that's the consensus with legal
my
opinion.
opinion.
Yep, I know that's yours. Just looking to hear from
Just
the
make
other.
sure it's written right.
Yep. All right, so I'll run that.
I'm not against it. I'm not against it.
I agree.
I just wanna make sure
You
that-
should have a legal opinion on it, so that you have a leg, we have a leg to stand on.
Correct.
So, no, I agree with you, I'm
Put
just
their
saying.
clause and choose them. Number 8, discuss cost of living wage adjustments for the town employees.
I thought we'd get this out of the way before we start working on the budget. I am in the process of trying to collect everybody's budgets to put together for our first meeting on December 3rd. And I went online to the Social Security Administration, and the Social Security beneficiaries and supplemental security income, they're the SSI recipients, they will receive a 2.8% cost of living adjustment. The consumer price index from the third quarter of '24 through the third quarter of '25 showed that the cost to live has gone up about 2.8%. That being said, I wanted to make a recommendation that we offer employees a 3% cost of living, just to keep them current with what the wages were a year ago. And if I can get your support on that, then I can plug all those numbers in for for wages for the budget. And I think this should include, like the PayPal buyer, you know, it should include them as well. I know they're currently at 19, so, they would be eligible for the cost of living increase and as well as. Mhm. As well as, what else there was?
Well, I make a motion that we, raise it to 3% cost of living raises across the board.
Second.
We have a motion, we have a second. Any other discussion? All in favor? All opposed? So moved. Department heads, road commission.
All chained up, ready for the next
All right.
Everything's up and running.
That's it?
That's enough.
Everything's up and running, the chains on the trucks, ready for the ice tonight.
How's the pump station?
And the pump station, the hours are down, so they're all going good.
So scary.
Yep. We did the leaf pickup, we got all the leaves picked up that before the last snowstorm. So, we're working on road signs right now that was stolen or disappeared, and we're starting to put those back up now. Other than that, no, everything's going good.
Awesome.
She went that way.
I saw. Is it that bad? Report that bad?
No, she's back.
I left my
Any
calendar on the
questions?
table up there.
Any questions for Heidi? Any questions for Heidi? Thank you. Chief?
Engine 84, probably come back tonight after being over at Derek Kenny's to have the air tanks fixed. He placed one, and while he was there, he did both, because the other one was just as rusty. And the bill on that was $3,003.19. Plus, he serviced, changed the oil, greased it, changed all the filters. So, Andy went and got that tonight and brought that back.
That was a total cost?
That was a total cost, yeah. Pump tests are all done. The cost of all the trucks being done, that was $1,887.35.
Could you
And,
repeat that again?
what's that?
Could you repeat that for me again, please?
$1,887.35. And they were also there, when they're there, they did the service on our air compressor for our SCBA's at the North Station. And that come in at $827.96. And the other thing, we're in the process of purchasing, I had Jeremy scope out some prices on 2 new Pro Force tit nozzles for fighting fires, because we have no spares, and we're just running what we have on the end of those right now. So 2 of those come to $1,910, and we're in the process of replacing some of the LDH, the large diameter hose that we had hose tested. We lost from last year to this year a total of 5 100-foot lengths, and that comes to $4,945. Other than that, payroll's gone out for salaries for the stipends for the firefighters and officers. And the call wise, I didn't get a chance to talk to Jeremy, I don't know what our call volume is right now. I know the most recent call we had was kind of interesting. We got toned to Parkwoods out here for a water leak. It was toned in as somebody left the water on upstairs and fell asleep, and the water was coming out of people's outlets in the rooms below. So long story short, they called us, Crew went and assessed it, and the maintenance worker was there, got the water shut off, and he really didn't know what to do, and we were pretty much like, well, I think you need an electrician and a plumber to start out with. But it was stopped, they were dealing with it, the smoke alarm was going off because it was just going haywire. So I really need to talk to them, because I'm kind of curious to what their policy is when something like that happens. What their evacuation is, if it was more intent of a water leak. And come to find out it wasn't somebody that left the water on, it was actually coming from a line going to a toilet that was leaking. And my thought process is, if one's leaking, they all put in at the same time, how many more are gonna leak in the future, so. But other than that, that's pretty much all that's been going on lately. Derek Kenny's gonna try to make room next week to get the other fire trucks in to have them serviced as well. That definitely needs to be done next.
How many fire trucks?
These 6. Well, the 2 foresters are done, so it'll be 4.
4 trucks?
And that's pretty much for our, that's not counting the replacement of the Pro Force tip nozzles and the LDH hose, and the last bill from Derek Kenny, and my budget's down to $105,16.25.
And that's before this AP.
Yes.
How many bills in there aren't reflected in your expense report?
Chief, did you finish up from the training that you had scheduled? You had something,
Strange that.
training or whatever?
I know we had something for last Monday, but I think we got.
They ended up winterizing the.
Yeah, that's right, that's right, they winterize the forestry trucks. All the pumps and the drain the tanks out of that, and drain the water out of the pumps, so when that goes out, nothing freezes. It's hard because it's always the issue when we set up certain trainings, getting the people to show up to actually do the trainings, and it's, a lot goes into lining up and setting up, and you get your regulars that show up, and it just makes it hard.
So everyone hasn't taken out of this month.
Oh, you spent some money.
Well, when it comes to fire trucks and maintenance on those babies,
Oh, yeah, definitely. But it's get done, they take care of.
and he had 84 for quite a while because we thought it was gonna be an easy thing, because we're 84 is pretty much a conventional truck. I gave him the VIN number, and he took the VIN number and got the tanks, and come to find out it's not the same tanks that actually go in it, and where they're supposed to be placed on the truck, they had moved them when they had built the truck, so typical.
And that is what she's got left to sign. Yes.
Any questions from the chief? Yes.
Okay, I met with Bernice Boyce, the CPA from RHR Smith, that was helping with doing adjustments to our 24 financials, and to try to wrap up our audit. We spent the whole day here, well, kind of a day here, and then probably a half a day remotely. The audit is in pretty good shape. She did send me the short log, I'll look over the numbers, and I had asked that we get the short report by December 8th, and the full audit, I've asked for that to come in, I think, by January 15th. In any event, we'll be able to get the short report in the town report this year, and hopefully by town meeting, we'll have the full audit if anybody wants it. She did want to combine some of our special revenue funds, and then she would like to help clean up the accounts. And she did a few things in '24, some things we had to actually go back to '23 to do a correction and roll it forward to '24 and then into '25 to make the changes. But I think that we were able to figure out our major funds, the FEMA and the HUD. I was able to come up with a number that I think is still due for restitution from the vials case, so that we'll now see in the general ledger. But she did say to move forward, she recommends that in the 25 year, we clean up a lot of the accounts, and I could really use her help in how to set up some of these special revenue funds to work well without redoing the entire chart of accounts, which is a massive undertaking. And she did indicate that they are willing to help us to do a FY25 chart of accounts cleanup, and sent me a non-attest agreement. They would charge $175 an hour to help me clean up the current books. And I think once they're cleaned up moving forward, it's just gonna be so much easier to understand and manage and maintain. So the estimated total would not exceed $3,500. I'm wondering if you guys would authorize that. I think this would be money well spent to get a professional to come in and clean up our chart of accounts. I think in this year, what she would have to do is not only create accounts, but set it up so that within a certain range, we'd have certain types of accounts, and then actually move balances to those newly created accounts, so that by the time we end this year, next month, enroll those balances into 26, we'll have a good operating chart of accounts to work from. So I told her that I would bring this to your attention this evening and let her know. I did also ask that the owner, Ron Smith, to have Vernice do our audit, where she was just here last week and is really familiar with our accounts and our issues, our special revenue funds and whatnot. And I just thought that she would be the best person to do that. And she's already going to be doing neighboring towns the third week of January. So I also asked Ron if we could maybe get her schedule. Typically they won't schedule until our audit's done, but now that it's basically done, I think we can, move forward and get back on task and on point with performing our 25 audit. Is that something that you would support? I think it's money well spent to get our books cleaned up. So in that case, if you do, I'd like you to make a motion to approve this, and then I'd probably have Jim, you as chairman, sign this unless you authorize me to sign it as the administrator.
So it won't go over more than 3,500.
No. It says, we estimate that our fees for these services will be billed at a rate of $175 per hour and will take approximately 20 hours with an estimated total not to exceed $3,500. I'm hoping that it won't even take the 20 hours, but I plan to work alongside her and help out as much as I can to make some of these adjustments.
And she's recommending this.
Yes.
So this is our audit.
This is our audit firm. Correct.
Motion?
Yeah, I make a
Second.
We have a motion, we have a second. Any other discussion? All in favor? All opposed? So moved, 4-0.
Do you want to sign this, Jim, as the chair?
Okay.
I did receive in the mail this week from the law office of Rebecca Cather, an old tax lien against property now owned by Scott Wilson, 63 Randall Street in Anson. I guess there was an old tax lien for an unpaid tax from 2008. We liened it August 21st, 2009, and it never got discharged. I'm assuming they want to do something with this property and can't because that lien still remains undischarged at the registry. So if you guys would vote to approve the municipal quitclaim deed to Scott Wilson for an undischarged tax lien from August 21st, 2009, that would be great. And I did look it up to confirm, they had a bunch of liens from 2006 all the way up to 2013, and for whatever reason, every other lien was discharged except for this one for 2008. So I'm not sure what happened back then, but it got missed in any event. It was missed.
Make a motion that we discharge, do with a quick claim on the lien for 2008 for Scott Wilson.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all in favor? All opposed? So moved, 4-0.
Okay, so, and she's gonna record it. She asked that I have you sign it. I'll take a copy of it and send it back to her. There it is. I wanted to remind you that we have a public hearing scheduled on December 3rd at 6 o'clock for those proposed ordinances. I did double check. I didn't see it on the website, so I asked Maddie to put that public hearing notice on the website today. She did put that up on the front page. And I've also asked that in the ordinance section, she put the proposed ordinances. I know when we had met to discuss the ordinances, there was one change that I had made that I wish I hadn't to the solid waste. I had gone to, Haley Cog had that roundtable discussion, and there was a lot of really good information in there. And I think the solid waste ordinance says something to the effect that in the event the town charges a tax-based tipping fee, and I just took that out and put the town charges a tax-based tipping fee. I think when we get to the public hearing, we may want to revisit that and not lock us in a revised amendment, but keep that open for you guys to decide whether or not to continue to pay that or not. A lot of towns are moving away from paying the tipping fees because they're just getting so exorbitant. So anyway, we can discuss that when we take that up.
What time is that?
That is at 6 o'clock. Our next regularly scheduled board meeting is not going to be December 9th. It has been rescheduled to December 3rd. And that was the meeting that I wanted to schedule that public hearing for. So we'll be taking it up at that time. We got our LRAP funds today. $79,996. come in. And I had drafted a job description for you, Brenda, and put that in your box once you've reviewed it. If it looks good to you,
Could we change that one thing?
I did.
Okay.
Yeah, but look it over and then we'll present it to the rest of the board for adoption. And I have done a few more resumes for the administration position, and I think we should schedule some interviews. So I'll take a look at some dates. I know we've got a kind of a busy December coming up, but we'll see if we can't fit some interviews in. Maybe we could do those in the afternoon, maybe. Maybe like 3 to 4 or something on that one for some interviews. And then we're thinking about doing the town Christmas party on December 18th at noon. Nomination papers are going to be available as of tomorrow. And there's 2 selectmen vacancies. Type it up for me. We have 2 selectmen, we have 1 water district, we have 1 sanitary director, and 2 RSU 74 directors. That anyone interested in taking out papers that can come in and do so. And that is all I've got.
Any questions? Selectmen concerns? Number 11, public session.
I got a question here. For Stacy. Stacy, what's the reason why the Anson Fire Department isn't getting toned to any big fires outside of town?
Because I was talking to Jeremy, and when they start toning everybody else, like Madison, Solon goes to Skowhegan sometimes, or vice versa. And so when everybody starts dumping all those, Anson's pretty much doing coverage for Madison, sometimes Solon will go up to Bingham, or Bingham will go down and help Solon, and it creates big holes of no coverage. And I know there was discrepancy about going down and doing station coverage over to Madison, and instead of paying people to go sit at Madison Station, we just stay right here at our station, or people just stay on until we're coming out to go to something.
But anybody that listens to the radio can hear that sometimes it takes 2 tons to get firefighters there. And I was told that on the street talk, that it was because it's costing the town too much money to be on standby.
No, I haven't heard that, but.
Well, with the amount that we raised the budget last year, 110,000 more than what it ever has been, boy, I wouldn't think that we'd worry about that, because the townspeople voted for it. But I just it just seems funny, because always in the past, we've always been told, like when they had the big fires in Skowhegan, we'd go, everybody else around would go, and then they'd contact New Portland to come down and set at our station or Madison Station. And I was just curious, just because.
Yeah, I mean, because I know Madison changed their all-call. They took out of their call part of doing the all-call. That made a big difference too. And I think part of it was, don't quote me on this, but I can talk to Donnie, but when we had the full-timers here, when the all-call went out, when we had full-timers here, they always beat Madison Fire Department on their calls, which didn't go over well. So, that was another big change when they took us out of their all-call as well. And I know,
Like I say, and another thing that would concern me as a taxpayer is if we have a bad structure fire or something and there's something going on between the departments, drag the feet, you know. We really don't need something like that going on between departments.
Anyone else?
I just want to make Artie aware that there's some curbing that's been racked up in North Village and it wasn't us. I can't tell you who done it because I don't know. I didn't notice it the morning I plowed, and then we noticed it after, but Noons, I know goes in there.
Is that right in the church parking lot?
Yes.
Yeah, I see that today.
Yeah, it wasn't done the morning I plowed. It happened after.
Yep.
Because we keep pretty close tabs on that, because I don't want to be accused of any of it.
Yep. No, I see it today while I was out measuring sidewalks.
Does the fire station cameras point in that direction?
I have no idea.
Because you catch them on camera.
Yeah, that's a good
It
possibility
does
as
point
well.
towards the parking lot. You should probably check it.
No to go now.
Better get on it.
What day the damage was?
Once I know
Sunday,
it's after the snowstorm,
Sunday, the storm was Sunday, so
Sunday.
Monday.
Monday, Tuesday, it's somewhere around there. I can't remember when Corey called me about it.
Yep.
Anyone else?
When you mentioned ordinances, Nancy, just to throw it out there, it made me think of it, the mass gathering ordinance you guys have online is missing every even page, just so you know.
Okay, mask gathering.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. Number 12, executive session to discuss personnel matters, department head evaluations pursuant to 1 RSA 4056A.
I don't know who you want to take up first, and whether you want the other two to leave the room, or we do one and then the other. I'd say maybe since Brenda's gonna, Stacy's not leaving for Brenda, I mean, with the last one, so maybe we'll start the nomination.
Already been there.